Issues brewing here at the Malia Nassau Beach Resort. We'll explain coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, find out how soon construction will commence on government's national housing plan.
And a look at trade in the Bahamas. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Just about a month after taking over the Sheraton on Cable Beach, and the Malia Group has cut 2 top managers. Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles.
I'm Keishla Adderley. Well, the move has been met with much criticism by union officials and employees of the resort who aren't pleased with the way the terminations were handled. So to discuss the issue further, members of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union were in talks for much of the day regarding those terminations. LaDawn Davis has been following the story.
When we got here, they were pretty much in bad shape. Everyone was crying and very concerned about what happened with the managers and what's next for them.
President of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, Nicole Martin, says employees at the Malia Nassau Beach Resort were in a somber mood Tuesday after 2 managers were reportedly terminated on Monday. Martin says the union is not accustomed to the style of the resort's management team and is appalled by actions taken towards the union.
I went up to the manager's office, and he told his secretary, or at least his secretary told me, that he would be out shortly. I sat in the conference room. Next thing I know, the security was called in to have us escorted off. I told him that we were not leaving. So he then called Mr. Marvin Dames, Bahama, big security chief, who came and told us we needed to leave. But Mr. Dames tried to mediate between us. And shortly after, they told us that the police were on their way, and true to form, the police did show up.
But the big question is, on what grounds were those 2 managers terminated on? Martin responded this way.
We were told that managerial staff are being threatened, that if they speak to the union, they will be terminated. It is my understanding that those 2 managers that were terminated did have conversation with the officers of the union yesterday. And it has gotten progressively worse. The gentleman does not believe that in a country of laws, that he has to abide by them.
Meanwhile, Martin says there are several other issues the union plans to address.
The general manager, as we know it, he is actually telling people of our color that we shouldn't be at the pool, that we shouldn't be on the property. As a matter of fact, I was made to understand even the taxi drivers are being told that they can't use the public restroom. They can't use the restroom at the hotel.
Bahamas Senior Vice President Robert Sands told ZNS News that those 2 individuals were separated for cause determined by the resort's management and has every confidence in the Malia team to act professionally and perform their duties within the confinement of the law. Mr. Sands says he does not abide by speculations or innuendos with regards to the terminations of those employees. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
With projects like the multi-billion-dollar Bahamar development scheduled to open this year, Tourism Minister Obi Wilshcombe predicts that the country is about to experience its best year ever. The Ministry of Tourism has employed several strategies within the last year, and those dividends are expected to show up in 2014 with more tourists nationwide.
Projecting that Grand Bahama will see a turnaround, and Nassau will be stabilized. Bimini will see increased traffic, and of course Exum and Eleuthera will also see increased traffic. I believe it's going to be one of the best years we've ever had.
Now, Minister Wilshcombe says the ministry has taken a more aggressive approach to marketing with the Behold campaign, which features former NBA star Rick Fox, and he says it's been extremely effective. People are still talking about it, he says. In the past year, he says the country has made mistakes by adopting campaigns and dropping them too quickly. This time, he says, they're going for continuity.
We took a position prior to the Christie administration that we would not be in the print. And so in some areas like Canada, we were in the dark. We weren't really marketing. We're back out there. We're seeing the results. We haven't been on radio in years. Now we're back on radio. So, again, it's very difficult to comment on the circumstances facing one minister to the next. But our administration is very aggressively trying to get the Bahamas out there to talk more about the other islands of the Bahamas together with the capital and Grand Bahama, but focused on getting more airlift, ensuring that we can get the numbers up, because of course that's where you see the greater return.
Tourism officials all agree diversifying the tourism base is critical to sustainable growth. And while a lot of focus is being placed on attracting visitors from the Asian market, an area that's been virtually untapped by the Bahamas, officials from the Atlantis are focusing their marketing dollars in a different direction, all to the delight of anxious industry stakeholders.
We are very distant from China. I would love to see us penetrate that market. We are focused right now a little bit closer to home, where we know that we have business coming and that we know we have direct flights coming from.
And even with the recent signing of the mutual visa exemption agreements between the Bahamas and China to make it easier for Chinese to travel to the Bahamas, President and Managing Director of Atlantis, George Marcantonus, says it's not quite enough to focus the resort's resources on attracting visitors from this untapped market. However, for officials at the billion-dollar Bahama resort, it's even more reason to tap into the market.
What we're trying to do is to reduce that dependency on North America so that, God forbid, if there is another downturn, because we have our tentacles in other geographical areas, we will not feel the sting.
The U.S. market is right next door. Now, other people can decrease their dependency. I'm quite happy to keep promoting right there. Affluent society, very close to home. Our own studies done by the Ministry of Tourism and by all the promotion boards show that the people who have the most interest in traveling to the Bahamas are people who are within a 3-hour direct flight zone.
But instead, Marcantonus says Atlantis' focus is on the Latin American market, which is already showing much promise.
Those people want to travel. They're already coming here. In 2010, we did 1,650 room nights from Latin America at this hotel in that year. 1,650. Last year we did 17,000. Our goal this year is over 25,000. Now that I can talk about because that's factual.
Tourism Minister Obi Welshcombe views it as the best of both worlds. While he agrees that the country has been overly dependent on the North American market, he notes that it still has to nurture that business. And with the two mega resorts going after new target markets and looking to expand current ones, it all bodes well for tourism.
You cannot just focus on one, because when something goes wrong with one, you're in trouble. And we've seen that happen. A recession in the United States of America has hurt us. But at the same time, China continued to grow. Latin American countries started to grow and continue to grow. So we want to get more of that business. Of course, we got to get more business out of the UK.
Jurors heard testimony in the Nevin Curry murder trial today. 29-year-old Curry is accused of killing Stanley McIntosh back in February of 2012. McIntosh's body was discovered in the area of the Don McKay Boulevard in Marsh Harbor. He had been shot multiple times to the body. During today's proceedings, a prosecution witness testified that he saw Curry shoot the deceased, but Curry's attorney, Muriel Ducille, suggested it was a case of mistaken identity. The trial continues before Senior Justice John Isaacs. Attorney Ambrose Ambrister appeared on behalf of the Crown. Well, 2 weeks into the new year, police are sending out a warning to motorists to take responsibility when it comes to securing their vehicles. Press officer Superintendent Stephen Dean tells ZNS News that female motorists are at high risk for vehicular break-ins and theft. At a press conference today, Superintendent Dean gave these tips.
If you are pulled up to a business place or you're dropping off someone and making short stops, do not leave the vehicle running. That quick second, that is what the criminal is looking for. He's looking for that. He just needs a couple seconds to move to commit his crime and take your vehicle. Additionally, we are noticing, particularly in some cases, our females, they're leaving their handbags on the backseat of the vehicle, just making a quick dash. In some cases, we are noticing persons are leaving valuables like cameras, laptops, cell phones, invisible, in clear view on their car seats. we are asking you to be very vigilant.
Now, Superintendent Dean also gave this warning to motorists getting regular services or thinking about purchasing parts.
Cars involved in accidents, please go to a legitimate buyer to buy parts. Do not go to the street side garage to get a replacement part. Because persons in some cases are stealing parts of vehicles just for sale. And we know it's being sold because it's being disappeared into the public. And we say members of the public to desist from buying stolen property, particularly parts of vehicles. Desist. And those persons who continue to break into people's vehicles, who continue to attempt to steal vehicles, the police will pursue you. I'm telling you, we have an aggressive approach on the road this year, and with our saturation patrols, it is likely you will be arrested.
In our first look at whether a strong cold front is nearing our doorstep, we'll get in here late Wednesday going into Thursday morning. We'll bring with it some showers on Wednesday and Thursday, but behind it a significant cool down, which will see temperatures dropping in the 50s in some parts of the northwest Bahamas. And taking a look right now outside of our studios, we have mostly cloudy skies. Your temperature 78 degrees, relative humidity 62%, winds out of the south at 7 knots, your barometric pressure 1,016.3 millibars, 30.01 inches, and it is steady. But stay tuned. Temperatures around the 5 Islands, travel and boating forecast is still to come.
Well, coming up, a government housing project is on the way.
And did the Pro Luck run out in night league action? Find out later in ZNS Total Sports. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell Helix Ultra. Performance you can see.